Hi everybody, I'm Julie, writer and director of the mumblecore, nerdcore, indie nerdy comedy Geek Loves Funk. And in this episode, I'll be talking about one of my favorite bands, MXPX, and I'll talk about why they're awesome. Welcome to the Julie Show. Hi everybody, so I'm going to talk about why MXPX is one of my favorite bands. First thing I want to show you is I'm wearing an MXPX shirt. As you can see, MXPX, okay. I'm actually kind of cold, so I'm going to put on a sweatshirt. Okay, this is my MXPX sweatshirt, as you can see. And there you go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 3 things that I really like about MXPX, besides like their music just being really solid. The first thing I like about them is, so MXPX is like a pop punk band, or like a skate punk band is what you would call it. I did a podcast where I talked about how I went and saw them in concert last January, so I can link to that podcast, but as far as the concert, it was really fun. MXPX, they're a skate punk band, they're a pop punk band, and they really it's just really good solid punk music, but they got signed to Tooth and Nail, and Tooth and Nail Records is like, technically it's a Christian label, and they got labeled like a Christian pop punk band. I don't want to scare anybody, because like I know like conservative Christians can be assholes sometimes, but so what happened was they got signed to a Christian label. They got labeled as a Christian band, but they weren't actually a Christian band. So I think once or twice they talked about Jesus. They have like 7 albums, and they only mentioned Jesus like twice ever in 7 albums. So, and even now, I don't think they're super necessarily, I don't know. But actually what they had was they had songs and music that said it's okay to question your faith, but like they weren't douchebags about it. They weren't like, F religion, man, F it, you know what I mean? Like, people are really shitty about it. You're just fucking douchey about it, sorry. They're more like just honest about it. Like, so for me, since like, I grew up Baptist, but then around 12 or 13, I hit puberty, and I was attracted to women left and right. So blah, 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 I'm gay. So like, but then around that time, I was still religious, so I thought, I tried to pray away the gay, that kind of thing. But what, I don't know, I've heard other people say this of all sexual orientations, like whatever, but basically like MXPX provided like a safe space for people to like question their faith in a way that wasn't completely dumb and shitty and gimmicky. Like, they're not a gimmick. They're just solid pop punk band, or skate punk, whatever. And so they have songs about questioning the answers, and they have songs like, they have one song where they're like, the lyrics are, sex masquerades as rock and roll. So they're kind of criticizing the rock and roll scene. But I mean, I'm sex positive, blah, blah, blah. It's okay to have sex, of course, blah, blah, blah. They just meant that, like, I know this was in the 90s when it was, like, super hyper masculine and douchey towards women, and, you know what I'm saying. But, so they have a lyric, it says, sex masquerades as rock and roll, and then the lyric says, and manufactured music to save your soul. So they're kind of like criticizing like the douchey aspects of rock and roll, and then they're criticizing like the fakeness of a certain kind of Christian music. So, and because they were kind of in the middle, like and here's the irony, like if they would have said, let's say their music was like Jesus this, Jesus that, Jesus this, Jesus that, Jesus, 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 they would have made a lot more money. Because, like, if they would have gone douchey rock and roll, maybe they would have made more money. Or if they would have gone, like, super, super Jesus this, Jesus that, they might have made more money in the, like yeah, because some of those Christian artists made a lot of money. I think Jennifer Knapp has talked about that. Jennifer Knapp was an artist where churches were offering her like 6 figures to get back into music, and she ended up coming out as a lesbian, and like she was doing really well in that scene, and then she left the scene because she's gay, and so she did more of the Jesus-y route as far as music goes. Some of them churches got money. Okay, so, but with MXPX, like, they were kind of just in the middle, so they toured with Bad Religion, like, a lot of great punk bands, and at the time, they did like to pray or whatever, but then the bands would make fun of them. Like, one time they got on an airplane, nothing against Bad Religion, but they got on an airplane with Bad Religion, and they were like, oh, I guess we'll be fine because we're with you guys, and you guys like to pray and stuff. I don't know, it's kind of weird, and like, and people can be mean to me for being spiritual, but it's like, I don't know, I'm spiritual, what do you want from me? So, I understand, like, you're kind of in the middle, and you get shit from both sides, so, you know, so MXPX, they get shit from non-religious people, but then they get shit from religious people for not being blah, blah, blah. And I think Mike is agnostic now, and I totally respect that, like, 1,000%. So, and I finally got burnt. A couple years ago, I got burnt by a church, so now I'm like, when people say church hurt, I was like, oh, the conservative Christians, in my experience, they are assholes. I was friends with some people, like friends, and they were straight people. I met them at this church, and it turns out they were homophobic. They do think straight people are inherently better than LGBTQ people. And I was like, well, that's a problem. Because I think we're all equal. That's all. We're all equal. That's all. Okay, so anyway, with MXPX, like, you know, they're kind of in the middle, and with their music, and I don't know, like, they weren't, I don't know, like, people would say they're soft, or they're not badass enough. And I'm like, they're not soft, they're just not assholes. And, you know, Mike has a joke that he's an asshole, but him and Tom argue a lot and stuff, but they're not like douche assholes, you know what I mean? Especially, remember the 90s, the hyper-masculine douchiness? Sorry. Masculinity is awesome. I have Superman, Christopher Reeves. That's an example of like good masculinity, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so anyway, MXPX for an entire generation provided a safe space where it was okay to question your faith in a way that was honest and real, and not like douchey and like gross. Okay, so they really did provide a safe space for a generation of people who just had questions about stuff, you know what I mean? So they actually were punk rock. That's the thing. Like, you know, they're very punk, and especially if you're coming from that world. So yeah. Okay. Second thing I like about MXPX is like Mike is a really good writer. I have an English degree, and so like, you know, I've read all kinds of books from ancient texts to, you know, and like he's just a really good writer, and his lyrics are very like encouraging. I'm 42 years old, so they're all, I think they're all about 5 or 6 years older than me. So I've always considered MXPX, they're like older brothers, like, and his music is always encouraging, like, you're gonna be okay, it's gonna work out, like, everything's gonna work out, like, keep going, you know, that's a lot of their music. The way I just said it sounds cheesy. It's not cheesy, like, the way Mike writes it, it's more badass and awesome, but yeah, they're always like encouraging people on their journeys, like, you know what I'm saying, and it's good stuff. They're just really good. They're you know, Mike's a really good writer. MXPX is Mike, Tom, Yuri, and the new guy Chris. And the third thing I like about MXPX is like they're not pretentious. So yeah, like Mike has said in interviews, he grew up kind of poor. I grew up poor too. I totally get it. Oh, and he's from small town Washington, Bremerton, you know, and he has a song about move to Bremerton. I'm from small town Virginia, and so like coming from a rural area, it's hard to explain what that's like, and it just is. And so for me, I moved small town Virginia, lived in Richmond, Virginia for 3 years, then came out to Oakland, California, Bay Area, and like the juxtaposition, like you can take the girl out of the country, you can't take the country out of the girl. Like, I guess deep down inside I'll always be a hillbilly, but it's like not in a bad way. It's just, it's hard to explain growing up in like a rural area, growing up poor. And like Mike has said in interviews, he didn't grow up with a lot of money and grew up in Bremerton. So it's like, and that Yuri and Tom, like they still go on tour. You know, I saw him back in January. But Yuri and Tom, like, that's the drummer and the lead guitarist. But they work there in Bremerton. It's a shipyard. And so they still work a day job. They work, because MXPX has been around since 1992. And they work at the shipyard, you know, in their hometown, Bremerton. And so that's pretty punk rock. That's pretty punk rock that they still have a day job and they're in this like badass punk band. So yeah, like they're not pretentious. Punk is music of the people. It's not pretentious. I'm sure somewhere in the world there is pretentious punk, but it's not supposed to be pretentious. Punk is a way to blow off steam. It's music for the people, by the people. It's working class, middle class music. It's supposed to provide some respite for people, I don't know, who didn't grow up rich and that kind of thing. So yeah, like MXPX, they've always had this like down to earth thing. In one of their songs, Play It Loud, they say, we're just like you, straight from the crowd. They don't think they're better than their fans. You're not going to get that kind of vibe from them because they're not better than their fans. You know what I mean? They're good people and they're chill. So, yeah. Oh, and during Christmas, during the holidays, MXPX for the last couple years, especially during the global pandemic, they do free online concerts. Just that's what they do during the holidays. So that's pretty cool. Mike did like 3 or 4 free concerts, live concerts during the holidays. So yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. And yeah, it just they're good guys. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they would get So they used to get, I don't know, they used to get like shit for people. People would say they're soft, like, oh, you're soft, you're soft. And like they weren't soft, they just weren't like assholes. So it annoys me. Like they're actually pretty badass, pretty punk. They just are who they are, you know what I'm saying? So I think MXPX is awesome. And oh, I've never met an MXPX fan who is an asshole. You know, it's always great. They attract really great people because they just do. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead for fun. I'm not rich, but I do have expendable. I have, what is the word? I have extra income because I don't have any kids. So I'm single and don't have kids. So expendable income, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, now I'll just show you like my MXPX swag. Okay, so yes. So the 3 reasons I like MXPX, they provided a safe space for people to like question the answers in a good way. 2, their songs are really well written. And 3, they're like down to earth and chill, which is really cool. So it feels good to support them. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna show you all the MXPX swag. Okay, that I have because they're one of my favorite bands. This is a hat. This is the Poking at Your Punk. This is a little punk rock guy. This is their like symbol. And he's just a dude who enjoys punk rock. But yeah, he looks very punk, as you can see. Okay, here's a bandana. MXPX bandana. Yeah, okay. Here's another MXPX bandana. It's hard to see it because it's purple. Oh yeah, you can see it. Okay. Here's another MXPX bandana. As you can see, it's good stuff. Yeah, there you go. Here's another, this is a slip mat, MXPX slip mat. And then this is I went to go see them. Okay, so MXPX, it was Less Than Jake, Reliant K, Smoking Popes. It was at the Hollywood Palladium, Los Angeles, Saturday, January 25th, 2024. It was a really good show. Really good show. I hadn't seen him since 2005, so I saw him in 2024. Here's my MXPX records, a Christmas. Oh, they have some really good Christmas songs. Here's my Carrera. Yeah. This is another record autographed by all four of them. Oh, I met them in high school in the 90s. I was a teenager, and they were just really chill. It was Mike Herrera, and he was walking around with the two guys from Good Charlotte. They were all nice guys. The Good Charlotte guys were nice, and so was Mike. So that was cool. That was high school, and Mike, we were just walking around the mall. I was about to go see them in concert, and then Mike signed my shoes. That's right before Good Charlotte like hit it big. Yeah, so. Okay, this is an MXPX record that I have. This is Mike Carrera. He did some acoustic stuff. That's the lead singer. This is MXPX, Find a Way Home. This is their latest album. 2020, came out last year. It's so good. It's really, really good. Here's what I like about their music. It's like, they've been making music since the 90s, and like their music evolves and grows in a good way. So it's still really good skate punk, you know what I mean? It's just that like this album, as I listen to their music, it relates to where I am at in life as I go along. So it's like, this is an album, it's still really good pop punk, but it's music written by someone, you know, in their mid-40s in a good way. It's not like boring, it's still pop punk, but it's like, it's MXPX, they do grow and evolve in their lyrics in the good way. Cause like most of us, those of us who's been listening, I've been listening to MXPX since I was 12 or 13, and now I'm 42, so that's like 20 years. Yeah, like I'm growing and evolving as their music grows and evolves, but it's still really solid pop punk. Okay, this is MXPX, the live album, and it has like the little, yeah. This is the album, really good album, came out like 2018. Okay, this is MXPX 2012. This is when MXPX went, they went kind of emo, I guess. That's their emo. It's a band called Arthur, but it's still MXPX. Okay, this is what and this is high school. I was in high school when I went to Warped Tour, and I bought this album on CD. That's what they look like, and I'll show you. This is what they look like. Mike's the lead singer, Yuri and Tom. Yeah, I saw them at Warped Tour. This is my first MXPX album ever. As you can see, I'll show you the color. This one's pretty cool. Oh no, I'm not going to because it's too hard. Okay, but okay, you see how like the jock, he's got the punk guy, and like the little nerdy guy's in the trash. That's a nerdy guy. And then the teacher's like, hey, what are you doing? And then it shows at the end, the teacher takes the punk away. And it's just showing that's life. Like, being a punk or a nerd, life isn't always fair to you. Okay, and this is MXPX slowly going the way of the buffalo. And this is what they look like. Okay, and those are my okay, that's my MXPX swag. And then I'll show you one last, I have like a little, an MXPX, like, it's like a patch, but I put it on my wall. So, I think they're awesome. Listening to their music, like, gets me through the day. Yeah, they've been like older brothers to me my whole life, and just, you know, just helped me get through the day. So, very encouraging music. I really love them. I think they're awesome. 2 thumbs up for MXPX. And I'll link to some of my favorite MXPX songs. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I love you all. Deuces. Talk to y'all later. I don't know why I said deuces. But anyway, I love you guys so much. Music is awesome. I love you guys. Oh, one last thing. I forgot to show you my MXPX coasters. So these are coasters. Yeah. Yeah. And then I have patches over there, but I don't want to take them down. And there you go. MXPX coasters. So, yep, there you go. All right. Okay. Thanks so much. Love you. Bye.